Tip number 8. Ask your lawyer about the community of owners and the urbanization. Spanish lawyers normally request a certificate from the community of owners to guarantee that the seller has no outstanding debts, but often they do not conduct further research into the community itself. This is quite a complicated and substantive theme, especially if there are debts or additional future expenses which already have been approved in the annual meeting. The content then ought to be looked at, and in some cases the lawyer can negotiate that the seller pays for these costs. Therefore, ask your lawyer for the minutes of the annual meeting, and if he can look where there are any specifics that you need to know before your purchase. It's also useful to receive the general regulations, for example with the opening times of the swimming pool, and if there are any potential restrictions regarding tourist rentals. The community and urbanization are two terms that are often mixed up. The urbanization, however, is a neighborhood on urban level according to the town hall. In new developed areas, it's normal for residents to jointly contribute to future development's costs. As a result of this, the financial administration of the urbanization will not have been completed yet in that case. This, for example, can be for paving, for street lighting, or for green zones. Sometimes this also applies for older neighborhoods, and you can therefore still be faced with unpleasant financial surprises. This is one of the reasons why it's also wise to hire an experienced lawyer for urban properties, because he needs to check this matter through the zoning plan of the town hall.